Welcome to Scott Cooks. Today I'm going to be making a beef stew in the Ninja Foodi. Let's get started. Let's go over the ingredients. Of course, you're going to need your stew meat. Got about a pound of this, almost a pound. Got some yellow potatoes. Got an onion. I've got an ear of corn. I'm going to strip the kernels off of it. Got some carrots. These are organic rainbow carrots, but obviously any carrot will do. Got some white mushrooms. I really like mushrooms in my beef stew. We're going to use a little bit of Worcestershire, about a teaspoon. For the broth, I'll be using the better than bouillons. I'm going to make a 1.5 cups to 2 cups of broth using that. A little bit of canola oil because we're going to brown the beef. And 1/4 cup of flour to thicken things up with. Let's go ahead and get started. All right. Start off by putting about a teaspoon of canola oil into the Foodi. Turn the Foodi on. Sear saute, medium. And go ahead and get the stew meat in. Of course, we don't want that part in there. What we're going to do here is brown the stew meat up. Then we're going to add in our onion and other ingredients. Just get that oil all over everything there. And start the browning. While we're browning our stew meat up, I've got 2 cups of warm water, and I'm going to take 2 teaspoons of the better than bouillon. Now, the better than bouillon, after you open it, you have to put it in the refrigerator. You can see it's really thick. This stuff is super highly concentrated. So that's a little more than 2 teaspoons, but I'm going for the flavor here. And we'll just stir that around a little while, every once in a while, until it dissolves. Just keep working that as we're working on other things. Set that aside. The next thing that's going to go in the Foodi after the meat gets browned is going to be the onion. So we'll go ahead and cut that up now. All right, we're going to use about half of this onion. There you go. And we're not trying to cook this stew meat, we're just trying to brown it on all sides, and we're just about there. Give the onions a couple minutes. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put in a 1/4 cup of flour. And we're going to coat everything in the flour. Let's just give the onions a couple minutes. One-quarter cup of flour. Get that all nice and mixed around in there. Get everything coated in it. So it looks like that. I want to slowly start adding in our beef broth. This is 16 ounces, or just around 2 cups. And we want to start incorporating that into the flour. This is what's going to thicken things up for us. Look at that. Beautiful. It's already absorbed that water, broth. Just add a little at a time, stir it around. Oh, it's just looking fantastic. Look at that, guys. This is a great base for our beef stew. And this better than bouillon. Wow. I've been using this for a while. I also have the chicken, roasted chicken bouillon too. You really want to add some flavor to something, give this stuff a try. Nobody pays me to say this stuff. I'll just tell you if it's good, I'll tell you if it's bad. And this is killer. Look, see how thick that is? Of course, we're going to thin it out a little bit, but as it cooks, it's going to thicken up. And we actually may add a little more liquid. I'm just giving you the base recipe here. If you add more potatoes, if you throw in turnips, parsnips, celery, whatever, you're probably going to want to add a little more liquid. Don't worry though, it'll cook down. It'll just gonna come out fantastic. So that's 2 cups. Now I've got a little better bouillon that didn't dissolve. We're just gonna get all that in there. We want all that flavor. In fact, we're gonna go in and get a little liquid and make sure we get it all out. Perfect. And we just dissolve that right in the Foodi. I've still got it on sear saute medium. I'm not gonna raise the temperature. The Foodi comes to temperature really fast. So even though we cooled it with the liquid, there's no reason it's going to be back in bubbly here in just a few minutes. And while we're waiting for that, let's go ahead and get our next stuff prepared. Let's work on the corn now. Took under a minute, we're already bubbly. Just got an ear of corn. And the easiest way to do this, the easiest way I think is, we're just going to shave the kernels straight into the pan. Juicy. Very juicy. Obviously, you could have just opened a can of corn. Could have got a little frozen kernels, but I happen to have this sitting in the fridge. I needed to use it up. And what better way to use it up? All right, there you go. It's looking good, guys. It's looking good. Next up will be the carrots. Now I showed you these. I got these crazy rainbow, certified organic rainbow carrots. All different colors. These are, even though they're already small, they're a little big for me so I'm just going to chop them in half to get about that size right there. I'm not quite sure how many I'm going to put in yet. I like a lot of carrots. So I'm going to put them in a little at a time until I get as many as I want. What a colorful beef stew we're making. Let's see how many that is in relation to, remember we're going to add potatoes, meat. I think we can use a few more. All right, that's plenty of carrots. That was most of the package. That was 12 ounce, so that was probably 10 ounces of carrots there, if I had to make a guess. Coming together very nicely, very nicely. We'll let that go ahead and sizzle away while we do our potatoes. All right, I'm just gonna cube up some potatoes in about 1-inch pieces, approximately. That'll do it. That was 2 of the potatoes. I'm gonna let you see that that is quite a lot of potato. That was a fair amount of potato. And I think we're gonna hold it right there. Yeah, that is a good amount, equal amount of mixture. Okay, we're gonna do a few mushrooms now, and then a couple more small things. And we're going to drop it down on a slow cook. All right, my mushrooms, personally I like them kind of chunky in beef stew, so about like that. Don't forget they're going to be cooking for 4 or 5 hours here too, so they're going to cook down. So we don't want to make them too small to start with, or we won't even know they're in there. And I love mushrooms, so I want to know they're in there. All right, don't worry, I did not forget the Worcestershire. I just usually do that last. All right, we're gonna do a teaspoon, but I'm not gonna measure it, but a teaspoon is about that much, maybe a little more. Okay, that's such a great flavor. And before we stir, I'm gonna throw in our seasoning, and I'll be using this tonight. You know that's my favorite. There's very little I wouldn't put this in. Guys, do it to taste. I'm gonna tell you, if you're using this product, a little goes a long way. You don't need a lot of this. A little bit adds a tremendous amount of flavor. Alright guys, go ahead and drop the pressure lid on. Make sure you put it on vent this time. Usually I say don't forget to put it on seal. We're going to put it on vent. Alright, I went ahead and flipped it off so you can see it all the way here. Power up. Slow cook. I want to change that from high to low. The default's to 8 hours, so you can just leave it on whatever you want. I'll just leave it on 7 hours. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to cook it 7 hours. And the reason I've started off on low instead of high is because I've already been sauteing. It's boiling in there, so usually I'll start it on high if I don't do that first stuff first, and then I'll drop it back. In this case, it's already crazy hot. And that's it, guys. I'm going to do this, cook this for about 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours, and we'll come back and check it. See you then. Okay, it's been about 4.5, 5 hours. And there you have it. Homemade beef stew in the Ninja Foodi. Tender. Didn't even need the knife, just falls apart. Potatoes. Perfect. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. Leave me some comments. Don't forget to click the bell for notifications. I want to thank everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.